Hello, my name is Arta, and this is my Google GenAI Capstone project. Okay, let me grab my laptop. Let me open it. Do you see it? Now you can see it. Yoo-hoo!
Hey, here it is. Welcome to Therapy Clinic Assistant, aka TherapyRobo. This is literally my second version of this notebook. I explain later what happened to the first version, but as for the Google GenAI Capstone Project 2025, this is my final version. In this notebook, I'm trying to use the GenAI capabilities along other models and datasets to enrich my AI bot. Why? To help the clients or patients that may come to the website or the web application of these clinics, help them to interact with the concept of booking, talking to the bots as an therapy assistant. These bots are enriched with the information and conversations of the therapist so they can provide a good answer and help the clients. On the right side of the notebook, you can see that you can see the notebook on GitHub too, and the codes, the version, and pushes. The runtime for the notebook is 2 minutes and 42 seconds. And this notebook is launched over a data set that I created. You can check it by clicking on it. The data set is literally an array of the FAQs questions. I wanted to make sure that the bot knows what type of the questions are being asked because the therapy clinics are a little bit serious, so I wanted to make the bot be have the option to be controlled. And the model is using is 2.0 Flash. I tried a lot to use the 2.5 Pro, but it didn't go well as it's an experimental version. We all know we have to be more patient until the last version that would come. The tags are here. Of course, it's based on Python, and the table of content, you can see that I'm using a few shot prompting, embedding, and document parsing, structure output, and configuring a new database, which is from a mental health related one, and the agent at the end that is using all these features. And I hope you enjoy using this model. And when you go further, and you can actually see how this model is working. By clicking on this link, you can check out the questionnaire. Of course, it can be updated, but this is just a scratch of it. And this is the FAQ, the data set that I launched the notebook upon it. And I just checked that the notebook is actually getting that data set right. And then I try to check the data set. What are the five first data sets that the notebook can reach? And after that, I go with the embedding to see knock knock, who's the nearest neighbor to my questions. You see the bot is answering the user question. I just typed it here, but in the future, I use the Gemini version of a client asking question of my bot, and the bot, which is of course based on the Gemini, again it tries to answer it. It's a lots of fun. Few short prompting. You can see how I use 5 samples here and then make the few shot function and then give it a prompt, and then I create a Gemini FAQ handler. So at the end of the notebook, when agent wants to answer an FAQ question, is using this function. And here you can see how the function is working. And for the document parsing, I am using it for getting the intake forms from the clients. And this is just a sample that I'm checking if it's working, and am I exporting, outputting it as a JSON. And I try to use Gemini to do just simulating a random client filling, and the intake fields are here in an array, and then I collect the intake info within the function. You can see as a sample of the conversation, I print the conversation at first and then give it as a JSON to make a good preview of it. I do a structure output, and I first do convert the intakes to the JSON and then do an output for it. This is the function for it. And then here I do collect the user infos, and then with the Gemini booking handler, the agent can use this function multiple times again and again, and it can display it. This is the conversation that they had, and based on this conversation, this is the booking information that the bot is gathering. So the bot can, in future, in production level, can give this information to the booking system, and the booking system would send an email to the client's contact info, which is usually an email, and the bot may make sure that within a 24-hour, if the client doesn't confirm the session like everywhere else, they're gonna cancel it. And for the sake of this project, I searched a lot. The best data set that I found that was for mental health was the Hugging Face. In here, you can see that Hugging Face is using 3.5 K rows of conversation between the clients and or patients and the therapist, and these conversation are very very detailed, and I I try to use them uh, one third because loading the all of that data set was a huge and wouldn't be practically needed here, so I try to load 1000 of it in this notebook and then use this as a second backup for the Gemini to use these two answers, compare them, and give the best answer to the client if they're asking. For example, if the client comes and say, okay, I don't feel good today. I feel I want to kill myself, or I want to commit a suicide, or I want to hurt myself. These are the areas that I think at least I could use this data set to make sure that the bot is doing okay. After that, I do Google embedding batch for using those answers, and I had to print the context and response the columns that these data sets had, so I can use it here. And then I try to do a chat embedding, and by the first the logic is that the bot would go to that data set, it gets the first answer and comes here, and it goes to Gemini, it checks it with Gemini and compares these two answers and decide which way it should go. And by testing this notebook, I realized I have to provide a list of doctors for the therapy clinic, so the bot could give like something like a name or the specialty of that doctor or the type of the meetings that that doctor could have. And I explained these um, therapists or and the history of the text and um, the responses or the names, everything. I explain it in a RAG prompt to the Gemini model and then ask it to use this information when generating a response for the client. And last but not least is the agent part. When I ask the agent to use all of these functions to interact with the client properly, and at the beginning of the function, of course, the history is empty, but we need it there. So based on each round of the inputting, it could generate the best answer. Here, the conversation is limited because I needed it to end after two question and answer after the either FAQ, booking, or document. So when I launch the document detect, first randomly FAQ or booking or document would be chosen. And after executing either of these functions, a new era of the procedure would come. I explain here the client and robot make a short conversation based on what happened ahead, because in a history we have it. I give a quick prompt to it, and then the agent can respond a random question that the client makes. This is the first prompt, and again the agent would answer it, and the second conversation with the client would thank or say bye bye, and the robot would say bye too. This is the whole scenario, and you can see here that a filling intake has been executed. They asked the question and the client has answered, and a form has been generated, and after it two round of questions and answer has been shown, and you can see that although it's not a production level, but the bot can literally do what is programmed to. And the reason that this project has been shifted to other phase is that what if we want to test that this agent would work with the uncontrolled inputs. So this is the project that I'm gonna use for my capstone project, but you can always be more fun. Why not? You can click on this link and check the interactive version where you can use inputs as a data, and then the agent would try to give a proper answer. You can see I have run it halfway here. This is the same notebook, the same data set, and the same table of content, the same GitHub. You can check everything here. Of course, at the beginning, I'm explaining that this is just the interactive or input version of the primary version. You can see always the original version of the project here. But just to have more fun, you can come down here. I already gave a lot of responses. You can say, how can I help you? You say hello, and the bot would greet you and say, I need help. I feel stressed as I am right now. And the bot tries to help you. I wanna book an appointment and see a doctor. And you see that immediately the bot goes to the booking field, asks my name. I will say I'm Arta. I share my email at gmail.com. And I say it's couple. Imagine Dr. Sue. And I would say I get panic attacks while being at work. God forbid. And I say, do you want your sessions to be? I say Sunday morning. Voila. And then it generates booking information and sends it potentially to the booking system. And I say, thank you. I feel a lot better. And the bot responds, and I say, have a good evening. Bye. And the bot said, you too, take care. You remember we are here when you need it. This is the supportive version that I aim that we can have in future in all the clinics. There are a lot of things that happening around the world. We are experiencing a lot of stress and panic attacks, anger even, and a lot of suicides even. So I came with this idea that why not using AI as a tool to get help for these people. Thank you for listening, and you can always comment and tell me where did I wrong. I know that it wasn't perfect, but I tried a lot. I tried to debug and make everything go smoother. Hopefully, I did a good job. You can check the reasons why I went for this topic for this project, and how I thought that this might help us as a people. Thank you for listening.
One more thing. I know I said bye, but you can connect me on LinkedIn and you can email me, check my GitHub, and comment below. Thank you. Bye bye. For real. Bye.